Hello everybody, welcome back to Stamping School. It's been 13 days since I had a video because we were right in the middle of Helene here and in western North Carolina. We are fine, our neighborhood is fine for the most part, lots of down trees and all that. A few mudslides, some little bit of flooding, but we are higher up on the mountain, so we are okay. Lots of devastation around our area. We got our power back, I think yesterday, and internet last night, so I am super excited. We're still on a water boil alert, but we're happy to have water. So it's been a long about 8 days of all this stuff, but we're happy that we're okay. So there's so many people out there who aren't, and we are now watching the news and catching up on everything. So somebody had asked me to show these ornaments in person, the kits, and I made a few of them up, and I want to show you some tips for how to put them together. So kits are on sale, 30% off for the month of October. I'll show you some of them that I have and my thoughts on them. Kits are not for everybody. If you're somebody who loves to make one-of-a-kind works of art for each person and not do something where they're all the same, this might not be for you, There are some of you that are going to say, well, I can do that. I can buy these rings somewhere and make my own. Sure, absolutely. Yes, you can. Kits are it's sort of like a jumping off point too for me. So I can start with some card kits and I'll start with a kit and then my ideas start flowing, That's sort of a good jumping off point. Sometimes people like to make one of a kind for somebody and then maybe they want to make 8 for everybody else who doesn't appreciate what they do. So there's that. So it's a way to give them out to people, but not put hours of labor into them. And they're still really nice cards. Now, I also have friends who buy a kit like this, and at 30% off, that's a pretty good deal. They can now make these with a neighbor, with a girlfriend, with their grandkids, with their kids. It's just a nice way to involve others in doing what you do, so you can do that. A lot of people buy these to do them with their grandkids. That's probably like the number one thing. And something like this kit right here, this one is called Christmas Wishes. It's on sale from $23 to $20.70. It makes 9 good size cards, but it also has the stamp set and a little ink spot and all the adhesive and a block. So it's like all inclusive, they call it. So, and these are quite pretty. So I stamped the Mary, Mary, Mary. Everything is put together. It's really nice quality. It's a good weight. It's even got that on the inside. This is the other version that's quite pretty with all the foil on it. I stamped the Christmas Wishes from the stamp set. I like to add that clear glossy glue on there just because it adds a little extra something so they know that we made it. The envelopes are very pretty. They are gold, very heavy quality, and there's a sticker here that you can put on for the address labels, which I thought was a very nice touch. So this is a nice kit for $20 because it does have the stamp set also, which has the leaves and a Merry and Christmas, so you can do Christmas Wishes, Merry Christmas, and the stamp set says, may whatever brings you love and joy be yours this season and throughout the new year. That's very nice. So that is a good kit. There's also a brand new kit. They usually release 2 at a time. There's a journal, and then this one called the Alpine Air Kit. And I did not get to order it yet because I did not have as much internet. But if you can see here, it's very pretty. Mountains and very landscapey, and it looks very, very pretty. So I'm going to order the Alpine kit. Has the pretty envelopes and it has the stamp set and an ink spot. So this would be a really nice everyday kit. I also had ordered the Card Keeper kit because I like to give cards as gifts, and even if I don't use these cards, I will give the box with the different categories in it for somebody. I think this is a great gift for card makers who like to give their cards. So it comes with the box, and it also has, let's somebody asked me about these too, how these look. These are heavy duty. These are your dividers, and you can add the sticker on there, which it comes here, like a little, this one is thank you, and these are like a heavy acetate sticker. So now you can put this in the box. So it has the different categories: birthday, love and support, miscellaneous, seasonal, special occasion, and thank you. So those are kind of good categories. It's on both sides. And then the box, it comes shipped like this. So it comes in the lid. And it's a very pretty embossed foil. And it just pops open like that and goes together. And I'll glue it all together. It's a good sized box. And then it has the lid, of course. So you can fill this with cards for someone or just use it for you, you know, and then put the lid on it. And then you have a way to organize your cards, which I think is kind of nice. Let me show you what the cards look like. It comes with all the parts and pieces, of course. On this one, the greetings are all pre-printed. You just stick them on. So, I mean, it's pretty easy. The cards are already pre-printed. Everything's just good to go, but they're just really nice cards. They're not heavy cardstock. They're kind of like our paper pumpkin, where it's a heavy paper, but good enough, I think. Very pretty. So this one, I upgraded just a little bit on this one. I flipped it over and did the blue side, and I just added some twine, I added some sequins, and then I added that clear glue over each letter to make it clear embossed, just to step it up a little bit. And just say, hey, I did a little extra on that one. This is the other version of it. It's got green on one side, and it's got the floral on this side with a vellum circle. And this one, and it comes with, you know, everything you need. And then I just added some sequins because I can't help it. This is one that I stepped up a little differently. So I added the clear stuff on top, the clear glue on top that dries clear and glossy. It's got the vellum. I added a little bit of twine and sequins. And this one, there isn't one that says just a note, but I took some of these because they come in different languages, and I just started cutting out some of the letters. So there was a J-U-S-T, and then I cut out an A, and then I cut an N-O and a T-E out of these so I could say just a note, because I don't need the foreign languages, but you know, you can make other words. You know, you can play a sort of a Scrabble game, a Wordle from your extra pieces and parts, and I did just a note. So I think it came up pretty good, like that. And then I added a little embossed strip down here at the bottom. So just, I get bored doing the same exact thing all the time, but I like to have a little bit of creativity, so I just sort of mixed it up a little. So that's a nice kit too for the Card Keeper box. So let me show you some tips for putting together these. And like I said, yes, if you can find the rings, you can certainly make these at home. These are 4 inches, very, very sturdy. They are not going, they're not flimsy at all. You get 6 of the large 4-inch ones, and you get 3 of the 3-inch ones. And you're going to want your silicone pad and a hot glue gun when you make these. You're going to want to have that on hand. And you can dress these up different ways. I'll show you some ways that I bump this up a little bit. Of course, it has all of the directions in here, which you need. Has the twine. And in the directions, it says to cut 18 inches of the twine for this part right here that we're going to put around. And that's a little trick I'm going to show you. There's actually a little ruler down here at the bottom of the instructions, which is nice. So this is 9 inches, and that is 18 inches. Now, there are pine cones, and they're plastic, little pine cones. You can bump them up, or you can step it up, and you can use, you know, dried pine cones and make your own. I wanted to make them look a little bit more realistic, and I'll show you what I did for that. They also have pre-tied red bows. Score on that. We don't have to do that. These are ready to go, which I love, and lots of things to cut out. Okay, let me show you a close-up of this one. I added, because there's a big open space here, I added my birds on here and a little Noel. And I added some gold paint on this one. On this little one, I added some white paint on the pine cones. I'll do that on this one so you can see how to do that. And added a few of these Druzy gems. All right, so this is the trickiest part, is the twine, and I'll show you a little trick for that. All right, you're gonna fold it in half so it's exactly even. And on the loopy end, you're gonna put that on on the ring, and then bring this end through like that, okay? Yeah. So there's a bump right here where they solder it together. Bring this bottom one down there and cover that, okay? And then tie this in another knot. Tie another knot like that so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, that's number one. You wanna make sure that doesn't go anywhere and it stays right there. That helps a lot. These pieces come up at the top, so they're gonna tie up here, and this is the second tip. Okay, because we're gonna tie this in a knot at the top. I'm telling you, this is the hardest part of the whole thing, right? But you're gonna tie this in a knot up here. All right, then you've got one on top and one on the bottom, and this is the trickiest part of the whole thing. Make sure you've got that little knot covered down there. Okay, you're gonna hold this here. No, you're gonna put a little hot glue right there because you really need something to hold it there. Just a teeny little bit is gonna help that stay while you tie it. And while that's hot, if you can, put your bow on right then. And then we'll tie it on. It just helps hold everything nice and tight right there because we're gonna need these little middle pieces here to put the paper on. Okay. So once that dries, see, now you've got a way for it to stay a little bit better, so you can just tie that on like that. Tie it in a knot right there. And then you can secure that bow a little bit better if you need to add a little bit more hot glue or something. You can even just do a glue dot there just to hold it so you can tie it. But that really helps that. I haven't made one with the green yet. So these come put together. There's plaid, and then there's these solid ones. There's some for the small, and there's some for the large, and they're different sizes. So this is what this one calls for with the banner, which I haven't made this one yet. So you're gonna slide this under, get it right in the center, and you're gonna cover that up with dimensionals like that. Hot glue might be a little too aggressive for this paper, but just, it comes with dimensionals, so we put these, 4 of these in here, like that, and close it. What I like about these two is that the back side is open, so you can add something to it, you can sign it. So each one has like an area there that you can write a little note if you want to, or put a family photo or something like that. Okay, so this is what this looks like now. And now we get to decorate, and I will just use hot glue on this instead of trying to glue it down in dimensionals and all of that. I'm going by my little pictures here. Like I said, they've got good instructions inside. And this is my second tip. I personally find these are quite delicate, and after I've been messing with these and moving these around, they get kind of bent up. So there's a few things that you can do, because these are just paper. You could use your punch and use cardstock and double them up. You could use dies and double them up and just make them a little sturdier. If you notice, like on this one's getting pretty bent up as I'm moving it around, and I kind of want it to last a little bit longer. So again, I'm just going to do more hot glue. You could do regular glue, but this just holds so nice and so quick. Got one of these little pop-out things, these little leaves, and I like to take my bone folder, and you know, these are double-sided, but you know, you can just give them just a little extra life. And that's where the gold and white paint for me came from, just to dress it up a little bit. I just took some deco paint, just your good old, this one's just folk art, it's gold, and I can do a little splattering, I can do a little painting of the leaves after, I should do it after, just to add a little gold on it. It just sort of steps it up a little bit, makes it look like more than just paper, you know what I mean? It just gives it a little extra something something. And there's directions on how to add everything, but I just sort of go by my eye and what looks good to me. There's some gold berries and there's some red berries. So, and you can choose your pine cone size. There's 2 different sizes of pine cones. So I'm going to do a large and 2 small. And I found that adding the hot glue, they have to kind of go on the side. So you want to use quite a good amount of hot glue so that they don't stand straight up. And we're going to do hot glue. So you see they do go together very quickly. And I think it's if you're okay with hot glue, this little guy, I'm just going to stick right down in the middle. And just whatever you think looks good, just stick it down. Stick it down in there. And I'll show you what I did with the white paint because I think that really looks nice. I can also add a little gold paint on these berries just to, like I said, they're fine on their own, but if we can make them look like we did a little bit more and just do a little bit of gold on the berries, it's kind of pretty. And on the white paint, what I did, I took a smaller brush like this one. I sort of work in my cap all the time if it's just me. After this is all done, you can do just a little bit of white paint flick and then take your brush and come down so the little pine cone edges catch the snow, sort of like that. I really like how this looks. So you're not painting it on as much as scraping off your brush and it's puddling on there, and then that will take a little bit to dry, but I really like how it just steps the whole thing up and makes them not look so plastic. And it's kind of fun because there's really no talent involved. You're just brushing the paint off and letting it puddle on there. Oops, that was a little big puddle, but that's okay. While this is wet, if you want to drop some glitter on it, some light, like the old Dazzling Diamonds glitter or some glitter, drop some glitter on there. That would be really nice. And then these Drucy, they call them, these Drucy embellishments, I really love how sparkly they are, but they're kind of tall and bumpy, and I found them to be a little too hard for the mail because they have jaggedy edges up here on top, but they're beautiful and I love them. So I am going to add these on here because that is just the perfect place to add these because they're just so darn pretty, and it adds just the right little bit of something, right? Just a nice little bit. And you could even add a little sentiment here. These little Memories and More, they've got little sentiments in there. They happen to be sitting right here, so I'm just going to add that right here. I'm going to put that right up here. Just a little something. They're really fun. I just felt crafty. I felt like I was making something by hand, and I really like these a lot. Be a fun project to do together with family. Well, that's it for me this week. Let's hope this week power stays on, internet stays on, phone service stays on, and I'll be back with some stuff next week. And I appreciate everybody's calls and messages and emails and things. I'm starting to get everything back, and it's been very nice for you guys to reach out and check on us. We appreciate it. So we'll see you next time. See it, learn it, stamp it.